Hi everyone, it's Daniel here. Today I'll be ranking every single Genesis album opener. So yeah, there's 15 in total. And please do not get mad at me for this because this is my own personal opinion. If you agree or disagree with me, please do let me know in the comments and don't instantly just dislike the video and be like, oh, you got it all wrong. Just be positive, give my video a like if you want to, and yeah, just tell me your personal opinion. So so there's 15 album openers and 15 album closers, which I'll do a video on that at some other point. And without further ado, let's begin. So at number 15, I'm going to go with Invisible Touch from, of course, the album Invisible Touch, self-titled. Yeah, this track, I do like it, but is it a great album opener? Nah, not really. Yeah, I've already mentioned this in my Invisible Touch album review, which you can go on the album reviews playlist and check that out. Yeah, it's not the best, It starts off with the Simmons drums, it's quite chirpy, It doesn't really build up or anything, but yeah, it's a nice song, It's definitely their most commercial song, but it was number one for a reason. It's a catchy song. It's Phil Collins' favourite Genesis song, which, fair enough, yeah, Phil's the one who came up with the lyrics, but yeah, I don't think it works well as an album opener. I think if they swapped this track and Tonight, I think that would have been a lot better, I think Invisible Touch would have been a better album for me. But yeah, oh well, can't have everything, and I never skip the track or anything, I just go along with it, and yeah, it's not the best album opener, but it is what it is. So yeah, number 14, I'm going to go with Calling All Stations. Now, this actually works a lot better as an album opener than Invisible Touch did. I really like the guitars, the drums, the synths, proper whooshes you into the song, proper pushes you into the album and all that. So, yeah. And, I don't mind Ray Wilson as a vocalist. You can say he's like, you could probably say he's the worst singer of Genesis. He wasn't the best, but to be fair, I think he did a really good job. He might not be in the best fit for the band, but at the time, think about it, Phil Collins had just left the band. They had lost a singer before, and I think Calling All Stations is a pretty decent album opener. It could fit anywhere on the album, They could have had Congo as the album opener, and, still would have liked the album just the same amount, that sort of thing. But yeah, so Calling All Stations is number 14, another self-titled track. I know. So, yeah, I've got this down on the list, so I will be looking on my left. But yeah, anyhow, my number 13 is going to be Looking for Someone from Trespass, which was all the way, we're going all the way back to 1970 now. So, yeah, I actually really like this track, when Peter sings Looking for Someone, his voice sounds really young here, It's quite a nice track, I like it, Quite a nice little build up, and I don't know. Trespass is an album I go back to a lot, and yeah, if I go back to it a lot more, then yeah, I'll probably like this album opener more, and yeah, I'll definitely have to revisit the album. But it's a nice album opener. I don't mind the album Trespass. I think it's a great album. Just need to go back to it more, revisit it, and yeah, I mean, Phil Collins and Steve Hackett weren't on board yet, but yeah, but yeah, Looking for Someone, good opener. At number 12, I'm going to go with Where the Sour Turns to Sweet from the debut album From Genesis to Revelation. Oh, them finger snaps at the start. And then you get that really cool Tony Banks piano. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah, this isn't my favourite Genesis album, but this is a great album opener in my opinion. I think it starts off the album really well, and then you get the horns, and then yeah, they just fit the song really well. I think Peter's singing's pretty good. For his age, think about it, he was like 18, 19, younger than I am now, which is absolutely incredible. But yeah, interesting fact, what, I don't know how to say this, but yeah, I do. Interesting fact, during, after Trespass was recorded, did you know that Anthony Phillips left the band on the 18th of July 1970? Exactly 34 years before I was born. I know, mind-blowing. But yeah, pretty cool fact. I was like, well, no way, he left 34 years before I was born, and he was 18 and a half at the time. So yeah, interesting stuff. But yeah, Next track on my list, my number 11, I'm going to go with No Son of Mine from We Can't Dance. Now, I think this is a fantastic album opener. Honestly, I love it. Just that ticking at the start. I think this is a great single. Definitely one of the best singles from the Phil Collins era. I love this song to death. Definitely, like, I think We Can't Dance overall is an underrated album, and I'm starting to get my head around the album. You know, I think No Son of Mine's a great album opener. But, however, there is this B-side, which was the B-side to the I Can't Dance single, On the Shoreline, which, if On the Shoreline was the album, I'd want that as the album opener instead of No Son of Mine, so that's why No Son of Mine gets put low on my list. But overall, great song, great album opener, you know. I think it could work well as like a second track on the album, you know, if On the Shoreline made it onto the album, if they took off a track like Since I Lost You, for example, which I don't mind that track, but yeah, I don't know. Just feels a bit off, if you get what I mean. But yeah, if you've listened to the album, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, now we're in the top 10 now. So my number 10, I'm going to go with 11th Earl of Mar from Wind and Wuthering. That synth intro, my goodness, so haunting. I love it. This is such a cool track. I love Phil's vocals, you know. Daddy, you promised. And you know, and the spoken word bit, you know, that's pretty cool. I think this track works really well. And then you get that ace bass line played by Mike Rutherford. Just a cool album opener, and definitely, you know, definitely gives you like a wintry, like windy feel to it, you know. Sort of like you're in like a blizzard or something like that. Just works really well. I think this, yeah, I wouldn't want any other tracks to be, you know, the opener. I'll just want this track because this track's just brilliant. Definitely one of the higher points for Wind and Wuthering, in my opinion. But I still think it's a great album anyway. So yeah, my number 9, I'm going to go with The Musical Box from Nursery Crime. So we're jumping back to the early 70s, 1971. Phil and Steve joined the band. Absolutely fantastic. That keyboard at the start, you know, the guitars are great. You know, it's just oh, I love this song. Play me my song, and then you get, that's what Peter sings, and then Phil sings, Here It Comes Again. Just works really well. And this was like one of the first tracks to have Phil on it. I love this track. And then you get that screechy guitar out of nowhere, and that heavy sounding organ, just brilliant. Just proper pushes you into the album, and just, yeah, makes you pumped and excited for like what's to come. I think it's a great album opener, but I think there's a few more I like better. That's the thing, I'm huge on Genesis, so all the album openers, like, besides one of them, all work really well for me. And yeah, it just depends on what mood I'm in. Some of these could even swap, you know. Please don't get mad at me. But yeah, Musical Box is number 9. I think it's a great album opener. I love Nursery Crime. I want to say it's better than Foxtrot, but I don't know. Those two are very close for me. But yeah, at number 8, I'm going to go with Dancing with the Moonlit Knight from Selling England by the Pound. Great album opener. Can you tell me where my country lies? Just the isolated vocal from Peter is great, and then you get them guitars, you get the drums, which just sound crisp, clean. The production on this album is fantastic. Like, my goodness, mind blowing. I know, but yeah, this is a great song. I just love the whole lyric. It just sounds really nice, and yeah, you get a bit of, you know, you get a few synths in there, you know, bit of organ, you know, from Tony Banks, of course. This was first Genesis album to have synths, by the way, so good on them. I mean, Emerson, Lake and Palmer were already using synths, so good on them as well. Yeah, great album opener, you know, builds up, and, you know, he gets another great guitar solo from Steve Hackett. Absolutely fantastic. He definitely, you know, he definitely stole the show, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Dancing with the Moonlit Knight, great track in my opinion, great album opener. However, these next 7, absolutely top tier. If you've never listened to these tracks, then you need to now. Number 7, I'm going to go with The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. And the lamb lies down on... Yeah, you know what I mean. That piano, Tony Banks, you know, doing that strange thing with his hand that he later did in No Reply All. And then the bass comes in, and then Peter starts singing. It's like a pantomime or something, you know, that sort of thing, you know. Or a musical, you know, it's just like, you know, you want a track that starts off like that, you know, with like intense music, and then like the singer pops out of nowhere, and just The Lamb on its own, just great album, like great concept album. yeah, well, I'll have another track, you know, like a mini instrumental to start off the album. I don't know. I'm happy with the Lamb. You know, I just think the piano works on its own. You know, that piano part on its own definitely, you know, is the instrumental. I just love this track. It's just brilliant. So yeah, that's my number 7. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, of course, from the album The Lamb. You know. But yeah, my number 6, I'm going to go with Down and Out from And Then There Were Three. Now this album, yeah, it took me a while to get into it, but the few tracks that stood out for me, of course, this track, Down and Out, I flipping love this track. Like, this track did it for me. Ballad of Big, Say It's Alright Joe, Lady Lies and Follow You Follow Me. Like, those 5 tracks like clipped for me like that. So yeah, very cool. Down and Out, oh, that synth intro at the start, brilliant. I love it. And then the guitar comes in out of nowhere. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's not Steve Hackett, but you know, Mike Rutherford doesn't have to be Steve. He can be his own person, you know, like he is. I mean, he's already the bass player of the band. Yeah, that guitar comes in. Mike's playing is just so fast, like do no 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 no, and then you get like these these random drums out of nowhere. Like, yeah, no, they don't sound like that. I don't know what drums are they. They're like, let me know in the comments. They're like, I don't know. You get like these drums, you know, like that. I don't know. I can't do it well. I don't even play drums, so I'm doing an awful example. And then all the instruments just kicking out of nowhere. You get some really cool bass pedals, and Phil starts singing. I don't think they performed this on live because how complex it was. The drumming especially as well. So that's probably why I can't do a good example of the drums. But yeah, there's quite a lot happening in this song. And yeah, it definitely like pushes you into the album. You know, gets you pumped and excited for what's to come next to the album. You know, what the next few tracks are going to be like. But yeah, I think it's a great album opener. You know, I think all 3 members did a great job on this track. So yeah, Down and Out's my number 6. Top 5 now. So my number 5, I'm going to go with Mama. Yeah, you all need to stop saying this is basically Genesis's version of In the Air Tonight. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's influenced, but it's not exactly the same. I think Mama is like the most unsettling album opener Genesis have ever done. Like, you get that Lindrum at the start, which, you know, sounds very different from In the Air Tonight. You know, you have some really haunting keyboards. You actually have a guitar solo at the end. The drums, absolutely fantastic, you know. It's great, and then that laugh that Phil does, just brilliant. This song is fantastic. Definitely, like, thanks to this song, I absolutely adore the self-titled album. And of course, that's all, you know, the Home by the Sea, Sweet, Silver Rainbow, the rest of the tracks besides one. Just brilliant album opener. I love Mama. Great single as well. I actually got the 7-inch of this, of the single, which of course as it's going to get better on the B-side. Fantastic song. I love Mama. Yeah, I know there's a few people that aren't keen on it, but I love this song anyways. And yeah, it was influenced by In the Air Tonight, but completely different. You know, it actually has a guitar solo. I think Genesis did a really good job with this song, or grand job. But yeah, that's my number 5. My number 4 is going to be Watcher of the Skies from Foxtrot. That Mellotron intro, I mean, come on. You gotta love a Mellotron, like, yeah, sod orchestras, just get a Mellotron. It does go on for long, but it just gets you excited for the album, and yeah, it definitely reminds you of like a pantomime or something like that, or a stage play sort of thing, you know. And then like the drums quietly come in, and then you get that organ, and then Peter starts singing Watcher of the Skies, Watcher them all. And Steve Hackett's guitar playing is great. The bass line from Mike Rutherford is absolutely crazy. Just a great track, just a great album opener. They opened their stage shows with this track for years, and then another track, you know, took its place. But yeah, so that's my number 4, Watcher of the Skies from Foxtrot, of course, 1972. Of course, a lot of people say Foxtrot is the best Genesis album. Yeah, I would never disagree with that, but I don't know. Foxtrot, I love the album, don't get me wrong, but I think there's a few better albums. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, number 3, quite tricky, the top 3. Well, actually, my number 2 and number 3 were quite hard, so you could probably swap any day. But yeah, my number 3, I'm going to go with Dance on a Volcano from, of course, A Trick of the Tail. I mean, come on, starting off with a guitar, no, 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 and then do, just brilliant. Just a great rocking way to start off an album, and then the drums come in, just like all the instruments come in, and then Phil starts singing. Just a brilliant way to start off an album. Like, I love Dance on a Volcano, one of my favourite Genesis songs. Just a brilliant way to start off the album. Like, I mostly talk about the introductions to the songs, you know, the intros, you know, because thanks to the intro, that's how the album, like, progresses. And, you know, I think Dance on a Volcano is one of my favourite tracks of all time, and the way it ends as well. And then it gets reprised in Los Angeles, of course. So, yeah, thumbs up to this track. Number 3, Dance on a Volcano from 1976's Trick of the Tail, or 1975 if you're, you know, going through like each album depending on like when it was recorded. Oh, well, it's up to you. On number 2, I'm going to go with Abacab, you know, another self-titled track from the album Abacab. So yeah, love this track. Great single as well. I love the album version though, the 7-minute version. You know, the last 3.5 minutes are pure prog. Like, it's just a jam pretty much. But yeah, the track starts off with the crash cymbal, and then you get the bass pedals, you know, which are just played in C. You know, do, and you get a really cool guitar part from Mike Rutherford. He does a cracking guitar solo at the end. I love the keyboards as well. You know, like they're all just like Yamaha keyboards and synths and all that, you know. But yeah, I absolutely adore Abacab. Like, you know, that keyboard riff, it's that heavy. It sounds like a guitar, you know, kind of, or a synth guitar sort of thing. It's absolutely cool. The other synths, you know, the thing that Mike and Tony do throughout the song, you know, the guitar and the synth, you know, coming in and out sort of thing. It's absolutely fantastic. I love this song. You know, yeah, it is kind of, yeah, it's kind of an odd song, but I love it. You know, it doesn't actually make sense. You know, it's based on like the structure of the song, you know, A, B, A, C, A, B. Of course, you know, of course, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus. So yeah, I absolutely adore Abacab. Definitely one of the best Genesis album openers in my opinion. But is it my favourite? Nearly. Of course, it's number 2, so it's a runner-up, so that's still really good. My number 1, though, is Behind the Lines from Duke, which came out in 1980. Well, recorded in 1979, but that's not the point. Behind the Lines, great album opener. The way it starts, you know, just brilliant. And then that awesome guitar part, absolutely love it. You know, I just love this song a lot. Like, it's one of the best Genesis songs of all time. It's definitely in my top 10, like, come on. And Phil Collins did his own version, which the intro to that was just like short and simple and sweet. This one, proper in your ears, gets you pumped up for the album. You know, I love Tony Banks' keyboard playing, you know, the synths, the piano, just brilliant. Luckily, it gets reprised in Duke's End, which, you know, get, you know, some percussions added, you know, like congas and all that. Just a brilliant track. And even when Phil starts singing, when the song actually like kicks in, you know, it just reminds me of like an intro to like a film, you know. Duke's a very cinematic album, in my opinion. So yeah, I absolutely adore Behind the Lines. It's one of my favourite Genesis songs. I even love the actual song itself, you know. I held the box so tightly in my hands. Yeah, okay, that's just an example. So yeah, yeah, I might not be the best singer, but yeah. Behind the Lines, definitely my number 1 favourite Genesis album opener. You know, I absolutely adore this song, and yeah, it definitely deserves the number 1 spot. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let's do a little reprise. So my number 1, Behind the Lines. Number 2, Abacab. Number 3, Dance on a Volcano. Number 4, Watch of the Skies. Number 5, Mama. Number 6, Down and Out. Number 7, The Lamb Lies Down at Broadway. Number 8, Dancing with the Moonlit Night. Number 9, The Musical Box. Number 10, 11th Hour Mile. 11, No Son of Mine. 12, Where the Sour Turns to Sweet. Number 13, Looking for Someone. Number 14, Call on Stations. And number 15, you know, still a good song, but yeah, I think Tonight would have been better. Invisible Touch. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Let me know what your ranking is in the comments of all the Genesis album openers. I'm really curious and really interested. So yeah, thanks once again, everyone. Take it easy, and I shall see you all in a bit. Yeah, bye.